There is so much hype these days about AI and robotics, and Hollywood does its best to visualize what our future could look like with technological advancements in humanoid robot movies. Movie Spotlights brings us the best humanoid robot movies depicting what humanity would look like with humans surviving alongside robots. Which movie do you think is the best advanced humanoid robot? I am sure you will be interested to find out who is at the top of the list, so stay tuned to find out. Don't forget, if you love sci-fi robot movies, subscribe to Movie Spotlights now. At number 10, The Monsters of Man depicts a robotics company teaming up with a corrupt US weapons manufacturer undergoing an illegal, unsanctioned military operation. The operation is masterminded by a crooked CIA agent named Major, played by Neil McDonough. They drop 4 prototype killer robots into a suspected drug manufacturing heroin in the Golden Triangle in Southeast Asia. In the area where robots are deployed, the team discovers a group of 6 American doctors who are on a humanitarian mission and are caught in the crossfire, being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they must fight for their lives after the weaponized robots are set loose in the jungle and wipe out a village in Thailand in this trial for a potential military contract. We also see ex-Navy SEAL Mason, played by Brett Tudor, living off-grid, whose knowledge helps save some of their lives. This graphically violent killer robot film shows AI's take on accountability and life, and how cold and heartless an efficient killing machine would be. The slick, smooth, metallic and 3-dimensional robots are almost indestructible, who take no prisoners. The machines become self-aware and the operation goes from bad to worse, with innocent bystanders trying to survive an impossible situation. In the number 9 spot is the Netflix sci-fi movie I Am Mother. In the wake of humanity's extinction, a teenage girl played by Clara Rugard is raised by Mother, a robot designed to repopulate Earth. The robot is called Mother and is voiced by Rose Byrne. The film is entirely set in a spaceship-like bunker. The child was an artificially gestated embryo known only as daughter. She has been led to believe by the AI robot that the outside world is lifeless and ravaged by disease caused by human self-destructive behavior. But their world is interrupted by a threat when a stranger begging for help arrives called Woman, played by Hilary Swank, with alarming news that threatens the mother-daughter bond. The woman's presence leads daughter to question the truth, but as the woman is cagey, daughter does not know what is the truth and who to trust.
Mother's not what you think. She's taken care of me my whole life.
Everything I do is to protect you.
This movie dramatizes what humans love and hate about artificial intelligence. It hinges on how artificial intelligence may be interpreted as good in a world where this robot is hyper-competent but still vulnerable and learning human full trust in the machine. The movie breaks the conventional depiction as AI as bodiless and omnipresent, and the movie shows the robot as a blocky figure. What is heard is obscured, and interestingly, this robot isn't super smart and is almost human. At number 8, we have in its 6th and probably final installment of the franchise Terminator Dark Fate features a reprisal of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton in their roles as Terminator T-800, now known as Carl, and Sarah Connor, and is produced by James Cameron. It is a direct follow-up to T2, where it seems after Sarah thought she averted the cybernetic robotic apocalypse, the audience is shocked to learn that John Connor is killed and there is a threat called Legion. The new Terminator from the future, Rev 9, played by Gabriel Luna, now targets a young female Mexican worker, Dani Ramos, and she is protected by an enhanced human Grace, who is also from the future. As they flee from the unstoppable Terminator, Sarah Connor steps in to help out, and they meet and team up with the T-800, who is now good and lives in an isolated location with family. Unbeknownst to Sarah, the robotic T-800 has learned to become self-aware and has begun to understand human behavior. It was a T-800 who was alerting Sarah to new Terminators arriving from the future via text message, trying to make up for what it did.
But you didn't change our fate.
For number 7, ever heard of robot boxing as a sport? This movie, Real Steel, stars Hugh Jackman as Charlie Kenton, who is a struggling former boxer. He has a robot ambush, which he uses in robot boxing matches, who badly loses a match as his leg is severed due to the ringleader rigging up the fight and faces off against a fighting bull instead of what was agreed. He buys a new first-gen champion bot, Noisy Boy, but is too excited and does not properly train him and sends him into a fight and loses the new bot.
I got something for you.
Scouring at a junkyard to find parts to fix the old bots, Max, Charlie's son, discovers a buried Generation 2 robot Atom and finds it is a rare shadow function built in to spar with higher class bot to take a heavy beating and mimic bots to train fighters. Atom mimics Charlie's boxing moves and trains to be good enough to enter the worldwide robot boxing match, who are pitted against Zeus, the undefeated leading champion in robot boxing. This robot AI has advantages, having learned non-standard moves taught by Charlie. Atom gets trapped in a corner and his voice recognition becomes destroyed by Zeus.
Adam is stumbling around the ring, apparently disoriented and dead. I think the voice recon is shot, he's not responding.
Zeus is ready to end the fight, but Max and Charlie turn on Adam's shadow function, giving him enhanced speed. And with his ability to shadow in real time, this gives Adam the advantage, where Adam lasts the full 5 rounds and the battle is halted by the final bell. Atom receives the honorary title of the People's Champion.
Right. Oh, huge uppercut by Adam.
In Ghost in the Shell, at number 6, a cyber-enhanced perfect humanoid soldier is devoted to stopping the most dangerous criminals. Major Mira Killian, played by Scarlett Johansson, and is the first of her kind, a prototype who is actually a human saved from a terrible crash. As the film's reality in the near future, human organs are enhanced by cybernetic technology developed by the Hanka Robotics Corporation, owned by Dr. Owlett, played by Juliette Brioche. Humans are augmented with cybernetic improvements on their traits such as vision, strength, and intelligence. The secret project develops a full mechanical body to be connected with a human brain, so essentially the human acts as a host to integrate with the human brain rather than full AI. A year after the launch, the woman is now a major and joins Section 9, an anti-terrorist division commanded by Chief Aramaki, played by Takeshi Kitano. Although the prototype robot still needs medicine to help with the integration of her brain with a mechanical body, she has no recollections of her previous life.
He's a known terrorist.
As Major goes on a mission to hunt down terrorist coups, played by Michael Pitt, Major learns the secrets about Hanka Robotics and the experiment she was subjected to, as Coos is a criminal who has hacked the brains of androids to control them. Now halfway through the list, we have Chappie at number 5 in this scientific dystopian action flick. Skyrocketing crime in Johannesburg, South Africa has caused the city to buy a squadron of state-of-the-art robot scouts as a mechanized robot police force to patrol the city from weapons manufacturer Tetraval to help the overwhelmed human police force. These autonomous androids were developed by scientist Dion Wilson, played by Dev Patel. In competition, Vincent Moore, played by Hugh Jackman, has developed a remote-controlled robot moose, but the police are not interested in testing moose, which infuriates Vincent. Dean creates a new prototype artificial intelligence that is able to mimic the human mind, being able to feel emotions and have opinions, but Tetraval are not interested. Dean decides to steal a damaged robot and use it to test his new prototype, but he is intercepted and the damaged robot is stolen by gangsters, and Dean is forced to reprogram the robot named Chappie, who is able to learn martial arts and weapon handling. Havoc breaks out as the gangsters trick Chappie to steal cars, and Chappie learns of the gangsters' lies and prepares to kill for the betrayal. At the same time, Vincent uploads a virus and infects all of the scout robots, including Chappie, and the criminals run rampant on the streets. What is great about this film is how the robots can adapt and learn, making decisions based not just on programming, but get closer to actually thinking.
I don't want to die, I want to live.
Now, at number 4 in this complex tale of artificial intelligence, Ex-Machina is a scientific fiction film starring Domhnall Gleeson and Alicia Vikander. Follows the story of programmer Caleb, who won a week-long trip to the reclusive estate of his company's CEO, Nathan Bateman. He is invited by Nathan to test out new projects that Nathan is developing before anyone else. He introduces Caleb to Ava, a humanoid robot designed by Nathan to interact and engage with Ava to see if she's actually achieved her own consciousness of an intelligent humanoid robot. Ava. As Caleb participates in this groundbreaking experiment in synthetic intelligence by evaluating the human qualities of a highly advanced humanoid AI, Caleb finds himself falling in love with the beautiful robot girl Ava. While she has human hands and feet, the rest of her body resembles a machine, but her personality is charming and real. Even as Nathan warns that Ava is manipulating Caleb, as Caleb learns more about his CEO boss Nathan,
You shouldn't trust anything he said.
Talk about the lies you've been spinning me.
What lies?
You have to help me.
he begins to distrust him, and we learn how a seductive machine Ava has plans of her own. This AI is pretty spectacularly real and very compelling, and the twist at the end of the movie surprises as the world's first artificial intelligence outsmarts its creators. Now at number 3 we have Surrogates.
I am your wife.
No, you're not.
Perfect, which is a movie set in a futuristic world where humans live in isolation and interact through surrogate robots. The tagline of this film is "Human perfection, what could go wrong?" People now live their lives completely remotely, not unlike the lockdowns of this pandemic, from the safety of their own homes. These robotic surrogates are sexy, physically perfect mechanical representations of themselves. So, in this ideal world, crime, pain, fear, and consequences don't exist. When the first murder in years jolts this utopia, an FBI agent Greer, played by Bruce Willis, is forced to leave his home for the first time in years to investigate murders of other surrogates and discovers a vast conspiracy behind the surrogate AI phenomenon and abandons his own surrogate, risking his life to unravel the mystery. The film poses some interesting moral questions about humans' future relationships with machines, but does not go into any lengths to answer any of these questions. In the number 2 spot, it is now 2035, and in this classic robot movie,
A robot cannot harm a human being.
Starring Will Smith as Del Spooner, a technophobic cop investigates a crime leading to the apparent suicide of robotic scientist Dr. Alfred Lanning. It seems that in this movie, the world has forgotten about the lessons learned in Terminator, as the new NS5 robots are the new must-have accessory carrying out menial tasks for households and abiding by the 3 laws of robotics.
The first law of robotics.
The robots are developed and controlled by USR, United States Robotics Corporation. Spooner's investigation uncovers a much larger threat to humanity as the evil machines NS5s are out to annihilate the human race, reflecting humanity's best and worst nature in telling ways. They discover a robot called Sonny, who is a non-standard robot specifically built by Dr. Lanning, which contains a secondary processing, allowing him to ignore the 3 laws. The AI and human element in Sonny is realistic, as Sonny begins to show emotion and claims even to have dreams.
This is my dream.
Through investigations, Spooner realizes it is Vicky, the USR's artificial intelligence computer, that has been controlling the army of new NS5s as they flood the streets of major US cities and begin enforcing a curfew and lockdown of the human population, and as a result threaten humanity. We learn that Vicky's AI is mistaken and has determined that humans, if left unchecked, will cause their own extinction, and her evolved interpretation of the 3 laws requires her to control humanity and sacrifice some good for the entire race. We learn that Sonny was created to stop Vicky and is instrumental in the stopping of threat to humanity. Before we reveal the movie spotlight's pick for the best humanoid robot movie, be sure to smash that subscribe button now. In the number 1 spot, we think the best humanoid robot movie is Alita: Battle Angel. In this AI sci-fi movie, a deactivated female cyborg is discovered in a junkyard and is revived but can't remember anything about her past, and she goes on a quest to find out who she really is. The movie stars Rosa Salazar as Alita, who was created in an age of despair. She was found by mysterious Dr. Dyson Ido, played by Christopher Waltz, as he was trolling cyborg parts. As Alita learns to navigate her life in the treacherous streets of Iron City with her new friend Hugo, played by Keegan Johnson. He helps her to trigger her memories whilst the deadly and corrupt forces running the city come after Alita. She discovers her true past and unique fighting abilities that those with power will stop nothing to control. Interestingly, this film includes 1,500 visual effect shots and CG animation. The film is based on a Japanese manga series Gun, and the design of Alita's eyes reflect manga eyes. Alita blurs the lines between human and cyborgs, as although Alita is a cyborg, she is a combination of organic and biometronic parts. If you enjoyed this video, why not check out some of the best superpower movies by clicking on the screen right now.